Welcome to Get in the Ring with DJ D Coops and Beast Mike on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Yes, it is. It's time to get in the ring with DJ D Cooks and Beast Mike here on a Wednesday evening. As I take a drink awkwardly as Beast Mike doesn't feel my awkward silence.
No, it's good to be back here. Brand new decade. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everyone enjoyed the New Year's celebrations, or however they did it. But as we start the new year,
hopefully they popped a little bit of the bubbly.
Yes, a little bit of the bubbly. Hopefully you popped the bubbly responsibly. Hopefully everyone popped the bubbly responsibly.
Yes.
But so the new year, and obviously new flows of wrestling. Obviously we both just watched the AEW and NXT as the inaugural war of their first full year as competition. But of course, the new year in wrestling, as every year in wrestling, seems to always start off with New Japan. And
we have to cover SmackDown first.
We do have to cover SmackDown as well. Yes.
Because we have to cover the silliness that was Friday night. Did you see the Reigns match on the New Year's Eve thing?
I did not, and that probably was for the best that I did. I know Roman won.
It was a 50-second squash.
Yeah. Just to make Reigns look good. Basically, just to make Reigns look good. That was kind of expected.
On Steve Harvey's New Year's Eve program.
All right.
But
SmackDown had a lot of returns. I think that was clearly the theme of the night with SmackDown.
And Raw.
And really Raw, too.
Let's cover the WWE stuff right now. Let's save the New Japan stuff for last.
Sure.
Because that's chunky. A lot of takes.
A lot of stuff happened there.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happened with the New Japan, especially considering it was over a 2-night deal.
It was a 3-night deal if you consider New Year Dash.
Right.
Because, and then we have the cards for New Beginning as well, so. New Beginning tour. So we'll be getting into that as well.
So let's see, SmackDown, really the last SmackDown of the 2010s. No, actually, that's not even true. The first SmackDown of 2019.
First SmackDown 2020.
Or 2020 was what happened here. So we started with a triple threat tag match of Sasha and Bayley versus Lacey and Dana and Alexa and Nikki. Now, I kind of agreed with Alexa. Alexa and Nikki really didn't have much to do with this. This was clearly a beef of Lacey and Dana, really Lacey versus Sasha and Bayley.
Can you not say the word Alexa because I have an Amazon Echo right next to me?
Yes, right. He does have the Echo. Okay, so Bliss and Cross were kind of thrown into this to me. I don't think they really.
No, Alexa, stop.
Yeah, so Bliss and Cross were kind of just thrown into this. I don't know why honestly, I don't think they really should have been involved in this, but I guess they wanted to keep them doing stuff and try to get them closer to the tag titles.
I did not watch this because there was more important things on January 4th and 5th.
So naturally, he was sleeping.
I was sleeping.
But I did watch this. I did watch SmackDown. And decent triple threat tag, but ultimately it came down to the two teams that really should have been in this match. And Lacey laid out Sasha with the women's right, and Dana Brooke, who, to be fair to her, she's actually improved pretty good since she switched to SmackDown. She's been improving, so I'm impressed. Dana with the senton to pin Sasha and get it done for her team. So the Blondes win the match. Next up, we got we got Gable versus Wilder. There's a little bit of a backstage interaction with the Revival and Gable, Chad Gable. I refuse to call him Shorty G. And this match was fairly short. Ultimately, it was Gable who out-wrestled Dash Wilder and then finished him off with the ankle lock and tapped out Scott Dawson. So we got the Shatter Machine was hit as Dash Wilder came in. Scott Dawson came in to save Wilder, and they hit Gable with Shatter Machine. And then Sheamus came back. Sheamus made his in-ring return, or not his in-ring return, his return into the ring.
I saw the GIF of Chad Gable and Sheamus. I saw that GIF. I shared it.
And Sheamus did not miss. He promptly broke to the dome as Gable was turned inside out and flipped upside down. That was the first of several returns that happened on SmackDown. Next up, we got The Miz versus Kofi with a little bit of a backstage interaction before this as well. That kind of set this up as New Day, as Big E cut a hilarious part of the promo. And the pancakes were flipped, and then Kofi versus Miz happened. A little bit of, not necessarily a squash, but a little bit of a quick match. And ultimately, it was Kofi getting a quick roll-up to get the quick pin. Miz then snapped and then beat up Kofi as Big E was too late to get the save, and then Miz skated away and out of the ring. Later on in the evening, John Morrison would appear out of Miz's locker room. So it seems that obviously we know Morrison signed a couple weeks ago, so it seems like could Morrison and Miz be back together? I am here for two things. I'm here for the dirt sheet, and I'm here for Miz and Morrison back as a team, and possibly running some feud with New Day and some other teams that you'll see later on.
Yes. They
Next up,
heel.
We got Miz did turn heel, yes. We got Gulak cutting a little bit of a promo.
Oh, God.
Saying that,
this 370 slide PowerPoint.
He only got there one slide.
I saw the slide, and it was disgusting.
It did not look good. It looked very cartoony.
Speaking of Drew Gulak, his brother, not to make light of everything, his brother apparently is accused of child pornography and bestiality porn.
Jeez.
Watching bestiality porn, so.
That's rough.
He has nothing to do with it. Drew Gulak has nothing to do with it.
Yep.
But his brother, good. Rory,
his brother needs to
allegations out. You can search Twitter. There's a lot on it. I'm not going to get into it, but there's a lot of stuff on it.
Anyway, Gulak got basically the size advantage was obvious from the get-go. Otis kind of dispatched of Gulak rather quickly, especially hitting the Caterpillar. Mandy Rose would tell Dolph to apologize to Otis, but as they continue that storyline with Mandy and Otis, which is actually way more entertaining than Lana Lashley on Raw to me. I'm perfectly cool with this.
Lana Lashley on Raw sucks.
Yes,
titty.
But Mandy and Otis see there's like a cute, entertaining part of this with Otis and Mandy. I hope that keeps going. Lana Lashley needs to stop, but Otis and Mandy, I'm okay with that one.
And then they get married anyway. What the fuck is this storyline?
That made zero sense. That made zero sense. But we'll get to that when we get to Raw. Okay, Cesaro versus Strowman was a decent match. Nothing too noteworthy, except for the fact that Cesaro was one of the few people that can match strength with Strowman. But ultimately, it was too much of Strowman to get it done and pin Cesaro, followed by an immediate Kinshasa from Shinsuke to Strowman to continue that hook with Strowman and Shinsuke.
And then Reigns and Bryan versus Corbin and Ziggler.
this was the main event of the evening, and the tag match itself was nothing too special. You missed almost nothing, but it was once the Fiend hit the ring is when things picked up. So the Fiend went.
Show so red.
I have no godly idea. The Fiend comes in, does his thing, lays out Daniel Bryan with the mandible claw, and then by the time there was no winner in this match, by the way, and by the time that Roman Reigns comes in to try to check on Daniel Bryan, Corbin and Ziggler jump Reigns, and then we promptly get it looked like they're going to get the handcuffs and feed Reigns more dog food, just like they did a few weeks ago. But then Reigns' cousins, the Usos, make their triumphant return back in the ring. I'm so happy the Usos are back.
Food.
Yep, so the Usos made the save. Super kicks galore to the Ziggler, to the Corbin, and they save Roman from more dog food. And that's how SmackDown ends with the Bloodline all in the ring all at once.
Raw. So, and then I want to cover NWA Powerrr real quick.
Okay, cool. So, Raw, the first Raw of the new year, the first people in the ring were Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Now,
Paul talks while Brock collects a check.
Pretty much. So, the real question is, who is Brock going to face in the Royal Rumble? Will Brock defend the title? Etc., etc. Well, the answer for Brock, perhaps maybe 29 other individuals. Now, Brock Lesnar is going to...
People are equating this to be the IWGP champion being in the G1. They've only done this a handful of times. Bitches. The IWGP champions in almost every G1.
This is true. This is very true.
So don't equate it to that, bitches.
Who would? Who was doing that?
Social Suplex was watching Twitter.
Oh, okay. Alright. Anyway, Lesnar, Brock Lesnar willingly will enter the Royal Rumble and come out first. Now, as far as I know, the title's not up for grabs, but
Which
it's
doesn't make any sense.
Which what?
Doesn't make any sense.
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. I guess it obviously means this. If Lesnar wins, he challenges the Universal Champion, obviously, to try to win both titles, which would really be a terrible idea. But Brock is going to enter the Royal Rumble and come out first.
I would rather Brock beat the Fiend and end that fucking existence.
The Fiend will lose at some point. It's just a matter of to who and on what stage.
I would rather him than Roman.
Understandable. So, Brock is going to be in the Royal Rumble first, and then we'll see who comes out. Who would you rather see come out second to deal with Brock?
Marco Stunt. Legit. Marco's fucking stunt. If contracts weren't a thing, Marco fucking stunt.
Did you see how far Brock can throw him?
Yes. Exactly.
See how far Brock can throw him. Oh, that would be bad. That's so bad.
I'm an evil man. I know.
We've established that. Oh, wow.
Evil man.
Clearly the evilness of D. Cougs carried over from decade to decade is what we're saying here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, U.S. Championship match, Andrade vs. Ray. Pretty good match. Not as good as the stuff they did on SmackDown last year, but a pretty good match nonetheless. It got a little clunky at the end when Mysterio accidentally hit Selena Vega, and then Andrade would finish the deal and take the mask. So Andrade retains the title, but it was a little clunky at the end after the Selena stuff. But up until that point, the match itself was actually really good. So, still a good match overall. Rey Mysterio would get a little bit of revenge later on as he jumped Andrade and beat him up to the point where Andrade was no match to get the mask. And Rey literally beat him up without the mask, and then promptly took the mask from him after he beat him up. So that was absolutely entertaining.
Hopefully this leads to mask for his hair.
I'm cool with that. That's fine. Or mask versus the title, because Andrade still got the title.
Oh, true.
Yeah, give me a title versus mask on that one. I mean, the last time we've seen that with Rey Mysterio, he had the classic with Jericho at the Bash about a decade ago. So let's do that again. Triple threat tag match, Viking Raiders, OC Street Profits. A solid match, a very good match here. So Raw coming out with two good matches to start the year. Good stuff. But ultimately, it would be the dominance of the Viking Raiders and the overall size and brute strength of the group as they isolated Carl Anderson and eventually basically hit him and finished the deal with a powerbomb into a splash, and Rowe got the pin there on the splash. So good job there. Actually, it was Eric who got the pin off the splash there. So good job there by the Viking Raiders to get it done to keep the titles. Good match.
And there's who is Kevin and Joe's partner.
Mm-hmm. They kept that a mystery the whole night, which they kept it a mystery in several segments, basically all night long. Charlie Caruso tried her hardest to try to get a glimpse of who the partner would be, but Joe kept that highly under wraps. He did a very good job of doing so.
Becky Lynch comes out.
Becky with a decent promo here, as clearly the Kill Bill promos continue with Becky. Asuka came out.
Both angrily in Japanese. Pretty
much entirely in Japanese. Pretty much entirely in Japanese. She basically trolled. She got at people on Twitter for that too, which I found very funny. But Asuka will get punched in the face by Becky, and it's established it's going to be Becky versus Asuka for the title at the Royal Rumble. As really, this is the only one that Becky hasn't beaten. So let's see if Becky can actually get it done.
And then the Rowan Mojo Rawley segment. Oh, good mother of Christ!
I'm actually legit curious. I'm just legit curious about what is in that cage. Whatever's in that cage
is worse.
It must be terrifying.
It must be.
And it basically, Rowan destroyed some dude who's like 50 pounds with a brick in his pocket, and he had no pockets in his ring gear. So
he just a shitty ass angle.
And then basically the whatever it is in the creature is basically spat at him in like some burning red color.
Oh,
I don't know I was sort of like, we're wrong with it. What is that? Like, whatever that creature was, what did he just spit in this dude's eyes? And the dude on Twitter probably was like, I'm not telling you what it looks like. I don't, like, we're not doing that. I'm not going to tell you what it looked like.
It looks like Baby Yoda with Baby Matanza in the cage.
Who knows what it is, but it's...
Then Eric Rowan beat Jeff Hawkins.
It's terrifying. Yeah, so Hawkins actually went on Twitter and was like, I'm not telling you what it looks like. I'm not going to say a word. Like, not a word about it. Okay, this is basically a squash match. Styles destroyed Tozawa. Hit him quickly with DDT in an RKO after a phenomenal forearm. So AJ and Randy are going to fight next week to keep that going.
And then we get bullshit. Then we get bullshit of bullshit.
First off, how about the security guards jumping the priest? How about the security guards jumping the dude before
that was hilarious.
How did he not know that he was? How did he not know he was straight the whole time? It's hilarious.
How?
Let's get that out the way first. How they jumped the bull before he ordained the ceremony again, which I thought that was funny.
He got beat up.
He did get beat up before he could do anything. Like, they cut the commercials so quickly, and they didn't know what was going. Like nobody communicated to the security guards. Like, he's a part of the show. Like, he's part of the deal. That was funny. Oh man, that was great. But
and then
they did the stupid marriage. They did the stupid marriage, and then Lashley. It's just turned into a Rusev cutting a promo against Lashley. They're gonna fight next week. Please end the storyline. Nobody likes it except for maybe Vince and Lana on Twitter. But although to be fair, honestly, this is kind of revitalizing Rusev. I will say this: this storyline's awful, but Rusev's the only one that's truly winning. Rusev is getting over with the people now. He's getting more. It's not quite Rusev Day at its peak, but it's coming back to that. So Rusev ultimately, when this storyline finally ends, he's gonna come out smelling like a rose to me. So that's fine. So at least we're getting Rusev close to Rusev Day status again. So that's fine.
And then Charlotte and Sarah Logan.
This wasn't too bad. I like it, Edgy or Sarah Logan. I like this. I like the kind of fight that these two threw. They threw hands. This was a pretty good. This wasn't even a match. This was just a straight up fight between the two of them. Not bad. I'm okay with it. The disrespect that Sarah Logan did to the Robe, I thought was a nice touch. And then Charlotte getting even with her and finishing off with the boot to the face. I thought all of that was a nice touch. So let's see more of Logan versus Charlotte. This could be something.
Drew
I'm okay with
McIntyre
it.
kills people. Destruction.
McIntyre's another one is getting over, and is slowly and surely turning face, and I'm okay with this. I like this McIntyre as a face. This is a very good thing. McIntyre disposed of No Way Jose. We're not worried about that.
And then Aleister Black was destroyed Shelton Benjamin.
I also wiped out Shelton Benjamin.
Was 44.
Yes. Yeah. I also wiped out Shelton Benjamin. This 10 years ago, like Prime Benjamin versus Aleister would be a classic, but not this one. Aleister destroyed Benjamin within like 2 minutes, but it's turned into Buddy Murphy jumping Aleister Black and continuing that storyline. And Buddy and Aleister have had 2 classics on Raw, so they get around 3. Let's see if Buddy Murphy can actually get a win against Aleister. That's also next week. Then we get to the main event. Of the show, which turned into Rollins and AOP versus Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and a returning Big Show.
Well, it's the Big Show!
Big Show did his standard things. Obviously, the chop.
Except
he got
for
the hot
turning heel.
Except for turning heel. Yeah, except for turning. He did not turn. He left the heel character back in the 20 teens. But yes, Big Show stayed face this time, and Big Show did his thing as a face. This match ended with AOP getting their team disqualified, but all for the greater good, as Seth Rollins probably got punched in the face as the Monday Night Messiah was basically being dragged up the ramp by AOP. Somehow they're gonna have these 6 men are gonna have like a tag team fist fight of some kind. I don't know where you're going with this, but any team with Big Show on it in a fist fight, probably going with that team.
I'm going with Big Show.
And that was Raw. Basically, Big Show in particular. That was Monday Night Raw.
NWA Powerrr. Joe Galli welcomes us to the show, interviews Tim Storm. He said he would love to hold the TV title. It's a workhorse title. He hypes up the tournament and the next phase, which includes a blind draw. Could possibly contain outsiders. And then he talks about the match he had with Aldis. And the backstory behind Aldis is Aldis backed out of the match that he was supposed to have with Storm on last week's edition of NWA. And Royce Isaacs replaced Tim Storm. Nick Aldis. Camille arrives. She teases talking, but then stares down Storm. Storm doesn't care why she's here. He says Aldis is supposed to be the face of the company, and he no-showed the main event last week, and the fans deserve more. Camille slaps him and asks if Aldis is a coward. She laughs and leaves. So Tim Storm is so good. Then Trevor Murdoch.
Okay.
And the Dawsons are arrived. Trevor puts over the roster. He thinks he can beat everyone. The Dawsons will face each other in the TV title tournament next week, leaving Latimer and Murdoch to face each other in a match. So we go to a TV title tournament, and in this TV title tournament, the time limit is 6 minutes and 5 seconds.
Oh, so that's how long the match is going to be.
That's the time limit, 6:05.
Okay, word. Okay.
Because the time of the old NWA show was 6:05. Like, that's what time it used to come on at. So Caleb Conley versus Zicky Dice. Zicky Dice hit a nice neck breaker for a win. This was pretty good. 2 3/4 stars. Then Aaron Stevens, a.k.a. the former Damian Sandow, the question mark I interviewed. Stevens says the question mark is the sensei in the ring and in his life. Stevens said he has taken him in, fed and clothed him, and he doesn't need the title to be a star, but he's the best. But the best need the belts. He's the NWA's third-degree national champion and runs down the competition. He and the question mark have been forged in combat, and then they will eventually hold all the gold. And then Galli asked if he will defend his championship. And then he said no. Thunder Rosa. This episode was really good. I suggest going back and watching it. Thunder Rosa and ODB have a good little match here. Backstabber and double stomp. Thunder Rosa hits on ODB for the win here. And then Nick Aldis arrives. Mox Galley. They talk about Camille and Aldis is such a good promo here. And Aldis is no longer his insurance. Aldis says Camille's no longer his insurance policy. She's a member of the Strictly Business, his stable. And Tim Storm is a relic like Ricky Morton, trying to make a payday off of him. So he's trying to jump the line, and the wild cards are in the mess. The wild cards are Thomas Latimer and Royce Isaacs, the other two members in Strictly Business. And he faces Ricky Starks tonight, and he can get the job done in 6 minutes and 5 seconds, but he goes all night long in the bedroom, and he will beat Starks in 6 minutes, even though Starks is great, and he will make him. So, this match is not in the TV title tournament, but it's 6:05 time limit. So Nick Aldis and Ricky Starks fight to a draw at 6:05. Aldis locks in the Clover Reaper in the final minute. Starks does the classic thing of clawing, tries to get to the ropes. Aldis comes back, holds on. As time expires, Ricky Morton comes out, wants Aldis to give Starks 5 more minutes, which Aldis refuses. And then Starks didn't get the job done. This isn't charity. And then Morton wants 5 more minutes, which Aldis then refuses and leaves. So James Storm, Eli Drake versus Colt Cabana and Ken Anderson. So James Storm and Eli Drake defeat Colt Cabana and Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson pulls Storm to the floor, posts him, and Colt Supermans and pins Drake for the 2. Then Ken Anderson shoves the ref, and that's a DQ at 6:20. And then Cabana and Anderson argue post-match. And then Strictly Business arrives with all this. And they said the wild cards were pulled by him from the previous match, and he's the god in this room. And as for Morton, he calls him out, and the Rock and Rolls arrive. As Aldis says, next week there will be a 6-man match. If Morton's team wins, he gets an NWA title shot. Morton says he's been in the ring with the best NWA World Champions, going 60 minutes, but was never a champion due to backstage politics. He agrees to this offer, but promises to get a title shot. Aldis says they won't actually be in the 6-man, because he doesn't want Morton to have any excuses. Aldis team will be the wild cards and this man. And the man is Scott Steiner.
Scott Steiner still wrestling in 2020. How about that?
Scott Steiner arrives as the show ends. Really good episode of NWA Powerrr.
Okay. All right. So before we get to tonight's stuff, obviously the inaugural 2020 version of the Wednesday Night Wars, NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2. This is quite a long name on a name tag, but this is going down on Sunday. Now, NXT UK weekly episode, I do not believe has happened yet. So, the last one was January 2nd.
Thursday.
Obviously, this is January. Yeah, last one, so it's coming on tomorrow, so we'll be able to do that. But it's the go-home show anyway. Really, there are 5 matches on the card, and we got the first one, Trent Seven versus Eddie Dennis, who's made his intentions at Trent Seven, has really taken interest in him going forward since his return to NXT UK. So this should be a pretty good physical matchup. That should be a pretty solid match to start here.
I'm looking forward to this next one. Tyler Bate versus Jordan Devlin. This
should be dope.
Phenomenal.
Ooh, this is gonna steal the show. Oh, this is gonna steal the show on this
These two are so good.
Yes, they are. This is going to absolutely steal the show. This is definitely this got to be match of the night. Absolutely has to be match of the night. This ladder match could challenge it. So NXT Tag Team Championships, Fatal 4-Way ladder match. All three of the NXT UK Tag Champions are involved here, aka from the show that the Andrews and Morgan Webster won the titles from back in the summertime. I think it was TakeOver Cardiff, and we're also including Imperium's Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel in this proceedings. More on the Imperium crew and the Gallus crew later on when we get to NXT. But these four teams are going to fight in a ladder match for the titles currently held by Gallus. We got a triple threat for the for the NXT UK Women's Championship. Piper Niven, who's been coming on strong lately, as so I've heard. She and Toni Storm will both be challenging Kaylee Ray for the Women's Championship over in the UK. And then we get the main event. We got the two leaders of the two groups over in NXT UK. The leader of Gallus, Joe Coffey, versus the leader of Imperium and NXT UK champion, Walter. So for the second straight Blackpool pay-per-view, Joe Coffey will challenge for the title. And these are your 5 matches for TakeOver Cardiff, or TakeOver Blackpool 2.
Dear God, help us. Joe Coffey.
On the low, I would not mind seeing Imperium with all the titles, or in kind of Undisputed Era like. And I know they're going to battle at Worlds Collide later on in the month. Obviously, we'll preview that when we get closer to that. But as I saw on the card, was Undisputed Era versus Imperium is going to go down. That's an 8-man tag. I'm all for. I'm all for seeing that. So I'm here for that. You want to do NXT and AEW?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so yeah, so we'll do NXT and AEW.
And then all the New Japan stuff.
And then we can get all the New Japan all at one time. So NXT tonight, obviously, emanating from Full Sail, started with the new women's champion, that is Rhea Ripley. Ripley cut a promo, kind of showing some love to the people and saying how great it was to be the NXT women's champion. And she promptly got interrupted time and time again from the likes of, first of all, it was Toni Storm, which was a surprise one. And Toni Storm interrupted, and she made her intentions known that Worlds Collide upon winning the Women's Championship from Kaylee Ray in the triple threat as just described. She's coming for Rhea Ripley, and she wants to unify the titles. That is her goal. This promptly led to interruptions from Kaylee Ray, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Candice LeRae, and the 6 women involved had a 6-woman tag. The champions, Rhea Ripley, captaining one team, Kaylee Ray captaining the other. On Kaylee Ray's team, Io and Bianca. On Rhea's team, Candice and Toni. And it was Rhea's team who would get it done. What was a pretty good 6-woman tag with the Riptide as the final say, as Riptide on Bianca would get the pin. Yeah. Next up, we've got the Dusty Rhodes, the first match of the Dusty Rhodes Invitational, where we got Imperium's Eichner and Bartel, and they battled the Forgotten Sons. And this was a good match. This really actually was a good match. I love the flow and the synergy of all the parties involved. Highly entertaining stuff. Ultimately, it was Imperium getting it done and getting the pin. But a very good match to start off the Dusty Classic. So good job there. Imperium gets it in. Yes. Next up, we got Austin Theory versus Joaquin Wilde. I am a fan of Austin Theory. I like the first time I saw him with the Evolve pay-per-view. I thought that was dope. The Evolve 25 stuff, and then and Austin Theory, he's got a serious future. I like what Austin Theory can do, man. I'm a fan of Austin Theory. He's got some real promise. So the match he had with Roddy Strong last week was dope too. So I want to see more of Austin Theory. This is good stuff. Austin Theory gets it done here. Good stuff there. Dusty Rhodes Classic continues. Undisputed Era versus Gallus, and Joe Coffey was not there, and the lack of Joe Coffey was clearly felt as this became 4-on-2 at points in the match. Gallus did all they could, Wolfgang especially. They did all they could to deal with the numbers game disadvantage that Undisputed Era causes, but it was a bit too much. They hit the high-low on Mark Coffey, and Bobby Fish got the pin. So Undisputed Era moves on as well. Notice with these Dusty Rhodes matches here, we got an NXT team versus a UK team in all four instances, which I think is also nice. Next up, Gargano and Balor. He called out Balor for walking on NXT. Gargano cuts a solid promo. Balor cuts a decent one too. And then we get to what was the obvious match they were going to set up as a Takeover Portland of Gargano versus Balor. And Balor with the cryptic warning of if you make it there. So there could be some more stuff coming on with this promo. With this stuff. Throughout the night, they did various Ciampa promos coming after Goldie and Adam Cole, and what's looking like the obvious main event here of Cole versus Ciampa for Portland. In theory, that'd be the obvious. They didn't make it official yet, but you get the sense that that's what's going to go down, and that's what's going to close the show in Portland. Me and Yim beat Caden Carter in what was an okay match. You really didn't miss but too much. Caden Carter with a little bit more of a sample size, I think, could be pretty good. I like her style. She's got some speed, some Lucha Libre flow to her with a little bit of power. But ultimately, it was the power of me and Yim that got it done. But this wasn't about that necessarily. This is about Chelsea Green making her presence felt in NXT and kind of throwing herself into the spotlight. So Chelsea Green really made herself known to really end the proceedings there. As she and Robert Stone Incorporated, there's some Robert Stone Incorporated dude. They kind of formed some sort of a crew, I guess. But that's what's happening here. That was really the stuff here. And then we get to a good fatal four-way. This is a good close to the show. Between Lee Dijakovic, Damian Priest, and Cameron Grimes. All four dudes had their moments. But obviously, one of these things is not like the other situation clearly showed. Cameron Grimes is clearly the smallest of the four, and his size showed. Though he did have some very impressive points. That backflip power slam he did on Keith Lee, dope. Love it. All for it. I love that as a finisher. That's a really good finisher for him. But ultimately, he was outsized by Keith Lee. Keith Lee would finish him off with the Spirit Bomb to get the pin. Also, side note, Damian Priest versus Dijakovic, that's a match I want to see. Let's see that. Let's make that happen. Hopefully, Regal can make it hot and make that happen in the near future. But this is a very good match and a very good way for NXT to end. So ultimately, to me, with NXT, it started well with the women. It ended well with the four-way. And the two Dusty Rhodes Classic matches were also pretty good. Very good NXT to start the year.
AEW, on the other hand, meh, to say the least. Started off pretty good with Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus the Private Party. They had a pretty good match here. As Page dumps Cassidy, Kenny accidentally cuts his Quinn into Page. They battle back, and the Buckshot Lariat one-winged angel combo for the win. And then backstage Pac lays out Nakazawa. Then the show gets weird. Because we have the Nightmare Collective. God, I never want to hear Brandy Rhodes on commentary again. Riho versus Chris Statlander. I hate this Nightmare Collective thing.
It seems like everyone does.
The great work was ruined here by shitty ass Nightmare Collective. Who the fuck is Dr. Luther?
That's a good question. That's a real good question.
Japanese deathmatch legend, like Excalibur was the only one who knew.
Yeah.
Who the fuck he was. I didn't know who the fuck he was.
And you're into this stuff. You're into this kind of stuff. You're into these death matches and all Japanese wrestling. Like that made no sense.
It was like 90s grime Japanese death matches. In like Wing and in like FMW. And not even in FMW, sense. In Wing.
Like that was just puzzling. His involvement in the whole deal was just puzzling.
He's Jericho's pal, so that's why.
So Jericho put him on. All right, that's why he's here.
Jericho trained with them. So.
Okay.
Chris and Rio didn't deserve this.
No, they didn't. I mean, Rio retained the title, but yeah, they didn't deserve that.
Nightmare Collective attack post-match. Shida makes a save as Britt Baker just sits in her seat. Big Show, Swole, and Sunny Kiss arrive. And then we get a Kip Sabian and Super Bad Girl Penelope Ford video package. And then we get more fuckery here. The finish was dog shit. Pentagon dares him to do the Arabian Press, but Sammy attacks, knee strike, and wins. This was okay. And then Dark Order arrives. This was boring as fuck. Then we got the Cody and Dustin versus the Lucha Bros. I can't defend the Lucha Bros losing here.
I don't get it either, personally. Especially after you had Pentagon do the distraction to cause Daniels to lose.
Yeah.
Now, good, Daniels didn't join it. Obviously, SCU and the Bucks made the save. But, yeah, I didn't get that either. I didn't understand why would you have them lose, and lose clean even, to the Rhodes. I don't think the Rhodes really needed to win. I guess if the whole hook was that to build Cody and have Cody kind of and Double A with the promo that they cut after the match, if that was the point, okay. But that could have been done before the match. That could have even been done before.
But this was pretty good, though. This was pretty good.
The match itself was fine, but yeah, I hear you about the about Lucha Bros losing the match. I hear you about that one. I can agree there.
But this MJF thing was really fucking good. Jesus Christ!
Anytime MJF touches a microphone, there's lightning. There's lightning coming out of that man's mouth whenever he touches the microphone.
And I don't even want to see him wrestle even.
No! I'm telling you, it's like what did I tell you the first time I saw him? He's the type of dude that you want to see get punched in the face, but you kind of don't because he's awesome. You kind of don't want to see him get punched in the face, but you know when he does.
He's harassing DDP here, and it's like.
Yeah, the whole thing with the daughters was below the belt. How he finished it was below the belt. That was a bit much.
So it's gonna be QT Marshall, Dustin, and DDP next week at Bash at the Beach versus MJF and Butcher and the Blade.
Obviously, they're saving Warlord for the match with Cody inside the cage.
Yes.
Which, speaking of which, Cody's gonna answer his the demands that MJF proposed last week. He's gonna answer that next week.
Jurassic Express defeated Best Friends. This was a little long, solid fun, though.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and seeing Luchasaurus take those moves from Orange Cassidy, I thought was funny. I did enjoy that.
And then Jon Moxley fakes joining the Inner Circle. Was really awkward for a few seconds.
I think you could kind of tell that he was never going to join them. Yeah. I think he just wanted to kind of boost Jericho's ego, and I thought that segment was actually pretty good. I was perfectly fine with the segment.
Yeah, I was perfectly fine with it too. He double-crossed him by doing the title of the car and everything like that.
Yeah, and he hit Jericho in the head with the bubbly, with the bottle of the bubbly, and then he called a paradigm shift to him, and a paradigm shift to Sammy Guevara, and then he basically left with the keys of the car. So, everyone's taking a car out of it.
It was Shahid Khan's car.
Yes.
So, Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, there's a lot to go over here.
Holy fuck.
There's a lot to digest in Wrestle Kingdom.
2 nights, New Year Dash.
Mm-hmm.
We have the New Beginning shows. We have Fantastica Mania. We have a lot here. So, let's go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shingyun Parisiro. I said that wrong, but the attendance here was 40,008.
That was for night number 1. Inside the Tokyo Dome.
Inside the Tokyo Dome, yes. An improvement over 38,162 last year's show. So, Alex Coughlin, Clark Connors, Carl Fredericks, and Toa Hanare defeat Togi Makabe, Tomoaki Hama, Yota Tsuji, and Yuya Uemura. Some comments here first. First off, don't let Don't let Vince McMahon see Yota Tsuji. Jesus Christ, he's jacked.
That's probably, wow, yeah, it's, come to think about it, you're right. We know Vince is a fetish for dudes who have muscles and who have an obscene amount of muscles. Yeah, that's probably a wise decision.
Toa Bottom finishes it off. Carl Fredericks got shine as Makabe takes a bump for him. Toa Bottom finishes off, I believe, Yota Tsuji here. So 3 stars. Then we get the old guy offer match. Satoshi Kojima. The average rating on Grapple here was 2.84. I rated it 3 stars. Zonka rated it 3 stars. And Shoot Williams of Voice of Wrestling rated it 3 stars here. So we are getting a consensus on that one. Satoshi Kojima and Hiroyoshi Tantan defeat Manabu Nakanishi and Yuji Nakata. Nakanishi took a rough-looking 3D rough in that Nakanishi barely got off the ground.
Yeah, I did notice that there was no elevation in that 3D.
He's retiring. He's having his last match on the New Beginning Tour, and then his ceremony's on the 22nd, I believe. They announced that in the press conference on the 7th. So, I gave this 2 stars.
Yeah, he really didn't miss too much.
2.17 on Grapple, 2.5 Suit Williams, and Zonka gave it 2.5.
You didn't miss, but you didn't really miss too much on the pre-show stuff. Honestly, with either night, but definitely night 1, you didn't really miss but too much.
Then we have, for the 3,550th time, Jushin Thunder Liger retirement match number 1. We have Liger, Tatsumi Fujinami, Tiger Mask, and Great Sasuke versus Shinjiro Otani, Tatsuko Takeyawa, Takeyawa, Shinjiro Otani, and Raisuke Taguchi with Kuniaki Kobayashi, and Liger's team was with El Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
And all 10 cornermen had interactions with Liger highlighted special entrance videos. That was a very cool touch.
And Liger's entrance video I thought was nice, and you can hear it with the commentators, especially with the English commentary, and how emotional they got with the 2 matches, especially night 2. But you can hear with the emotion that the commentary had, and the energy in the building was up once Liger got in the ring, and Liger didn't look too bad. Liger did not look too bad, and I think and I love how they talked about it at the end of the match, where Liger didn't want to go out. He didn't want to go out too late. It's like he wanted to go out too early as opposed to too late. Like he didn't want to go out when he was past his prime and he was completely cooked. As opposed to Liger, did not look too bad here. He did not look too bad in this match.
No, he did not look too bad at all. He looked awesome.
Yes.
At peak performance, Liger can still go with top stars in the company, which makes his decision to retire more heart-wrenching. Taguchi pins Liger with a Dodon because, of course, Liger would take the pin here. He's going to lose tomorrow night.
You think Liger's going to eat the pins.
He's going to lose tomorrow night, and I'm sure he'll find a way to somehow have someone pin him in his own retirement ceremony, too.
But you know what? I think it's fine. I think it's fine that Liger goes out this way. I think it's fine that Liger goes out. As I say, I'd rather he go out too early than too late, where his legacy doesn't get tarnished. So I'm perfectly okay with Liger going out this way. And I love the love that everybody showed. A lot of people showed on Twitter. Like Adam Cole showed some love about had a picture of them wrestling. Kevin Owens had a picture of them wrestling. Yes, the Hardys did.
Arby's.
A lot of people showed love about.
I mean, Arby's, the restaurant.
Arby's. Yeah. I'm sorry, Arby's. You're right. That's respect. The Arby's showed some love with the Liger mask. I thought that was dope. Yes, that's the respect right there. You know, you made it when a restaurant putting you on like that. I think that's respect. I love that. I thought that was awesome.
2.93 on Grapple, 3.5. I rated it 3.5 on Voices of Wrestling as well. 3 for Zonka. So we're in that 3 to 3.5 range. There's Suzuki, Goon, Zack Sabre Jr., Minoru Suzuki, Taiji, and El Desperado versus LIJ of Evil, Shingo, Sonata, and Bushi. This was nothing.
Yeah, you really didn't miss it. This is clearly the setup for Sabre's match the following night.
Yeah. There was a fun Shingo Taichi sequence in the middle. I rated it 2.75. Suit rated it 3.3 1/4. 2.68 on Grapple, and Zonka rated it a 3 1/4. So right in that range. Chaos of Yoshihashi, Toriano, Big Tom Ishii, and Hiroki Goto versus Bullet Club and Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, Bad Luck Fale, and Kenta. 2 stars.
I got a kick out of the Fale and Yano stuff. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. But other than that, you really didn't miss too much. Chaos got the pin there, got the win. But yeah, you didn't really miss too much otherwise.
Now business started to pick up with the
now we get serious.
Tag team title match, which I enjoyed. Guerrillas of Destiny versus Finjuice. The 2.34 on Grapple was the rating of the Bullet Club versus Chaos match. But Finjuice, 3.16. I think that's shockingly low.
Yeah, I can go 3 1/4, 3.5. This match was good.
I went 4.
Yeah, okay.
I went 4 on it because it was pretty good.
Good story. It was a good story of Finjuice getting jumped at the start of the match by God, and I thought that was an entertaining way, and it was a good rally by Finjuice to get it done, to eventually get the win and get the tag titles. So the tag titles changed once again at Wrestle Kingdom in the Dome. This is the first real signature win for David Finlay on the main shows. First real signature win, the first title win really for Finlay there. So good stuff there. I saw his dad show love on Twitter as well, so I thought that was nice.
Everybody should watch this Texas Staff match to see how a last man standing match should be formatted.
This was
my God. This was fucking
so
good.
Loud. This was good. This was very, very good. You're normally not a fan of last minute standings. And I'm usually cool with them if they're done properly. And this was good. This was done very, very properly.
I'm not even a fan of last man standing matches, but boy, I was a fan of this match.
Moxley versus Archer. This is good stuff.
The referee wasn't in the way that much. He wasn't counting pointless counts.
Now, the difference we should mention between a normal last man standing and this death match, you could also win by submission. You could also win by verbal submission. So that was the other difference. This is why submission holds were applied here in this particular match. This match was 14.5 minutes. It didn't seem like it didn't seem rushed at all. They put a lot of work into the 14.5 minutes they put in this match.
15:22.
The one I'm reading is 14:26, but in terms of time, but that works too.
3.79 on Grapple, 4 stars by Zonga, 4 1/4, and that's what I have to. Suit Williams had 4 1/4 as well.
Yeah, I go 4 1/4 here too. I think this was very entertaining. Moxley finished the deal with the paradigm shift through the 2 tables from the apron to the floor, but this was a very good match.
And then we went bonkers.
Yeah, then these last 3 matches, wow. First, Ospreay versus Takahashi for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. This match
Ospreay
was
broke
nuts.
his heel in
He
that
broke
special sequence.
That sequence which turned into a GIF soon after it was done by Ospreay and Takahashi was dope. That was completely insane. How they went full speed like that. And Ospreay finished the match, and I thought he seemed fine. I didn't realize he broke his heel until you told me. But this is really good. And then he kicks out of the time. He kicks out of the time. What was it, the time?
Time bomb.
The time bomb. Yes, I was about to say. He kicks out of the time bomb 1. And we're like, whoa, I can't believe he kicked out of time bomb 1. Also, can't believe Takahashi got up from that blade that Ospreay hit him with.
Hidden blade.
Yeah, as he caught him with the hidden blade after the which that was the move that knocked Ibushi out last year at Wrestle Kingdom. And
it was so good that I couldn't believe he countered it into the code red for it too.
Yes. And then ultimately it was Time Bomb 2.0. Like, I didn't even know what he hit him with. I didn't even know what he hit him with until you told me what that was. Like what did he just hit him with? As Takahashi wins the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship from Ospreay. I couldn't believe he hit him with. I didn't even know what it was that he hit him with.
It was a modified Emerald Flosion.
Yes, like I knew it was Emerald Flosion. It had Emerald Flosion looks to it, but it just looks so weird and so different. But it gets it. But Tanahashi gets it done. A great match. 4 3/4 or 5?
I went 5.
Yeah.
4.7 seconds on grapple. Zonko went 5. Suit Williams went 5. You could go 5.
Yeah, I would go 5.
There's nothing wrong with going 5 or 4 3/4. Joe Lanza went 4 3/4 because he's a curmudgeon.
So that was the third. So we get the co-main right after that, and we get the double gold situation materializing in these next 2 matches. First, we get Naito versus Jay White, and with Gato involved here. And Gato definitely didn't get involved. It was involved in both matches. More on night 2 later. Very good match from start to finish. Highly enjoyed it with Naito and White. As one would think, okay, maybe Naito loses because he's always been the bridesmaid of these Wrestle Kingdoms. But Naito finds a way to win the Intercontinental Championship. And to me, what this match really kind of set itself up was the fact that Jay White could not hit the Blade Runner. White tried his hardest to hit the Blade Runner several times, but could never hit the Blade Runner. And I think that's what really set it apart, and how White would lose the match. He could just never hit it. And then Naito will win with Destino and get it done and win the title. But a very good match.
Right. And it was... Where was your rating on this?
Probably 4.5. 4.5.
I went 4 3/4.
Yeah, so I'm in that ballpark.
Suit Williams went 3 3/4. Zonko went 3.5, which I could see why. Grapple went 3.96, so it's very divisive where you went with this match.
I will go 4.5.
4.5 is a very fair rating for it.
Yeah, because I didn't think it was as good as the match that preceded it and the match that came up after. But I thought it was a very good match.
This next match is not very divisive.
No, this match is a pretty undisputed rating from all parties involved. Okada and Kota Ibushi, we knew was going to be great, and we knew it was going to be a classic, and it did not disappoint. A matchup I would consider the 2 best drop kicks in the game right now, of Ibushi and Okada. And they were throwing, I think the drop kick counter, was 4-2 Okada, but it wasn't even about that. This was just a really good match from start to finish, where both guys threw everything at each other. Threw absolutely everything.
You know what it felt like? It felt like a hybrid of the Okada Tanahashi and Nakamura Ibushi matches.
That's a good way. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Yeah, that's a good. And the stuff that they were pulling in the matches, though, like the stuff that they were kicking out of both these guys, was absolutely insane.
And then murder Ibushi.
Yeah, really. Not even the Rainmakers that Okada hit him with, but
the look on Ibushi's face.
The cold as ice. I love it. It's Io Shirai-esque, where like Io Shirai's got that lack of emotion in some of her facial expressions. Ibushi had that, and it looks so good. I love that that's a thing now. It was so good that Ibushi did that, and I'm all for that. The cold as ice expressionless Ibushi going forward.
And then Murder Ibushi just fucking laying hands at
Yes.
Okada. He was just like, fuck you.
So good. The cold as ice, like killer Ibushi. I was highly entertained by that. Okada hit countless rainmakers to get it done, but this was incredible. Absolutely a 5-star. The first 5-star of the year, I would say. Highly entertaining from start to finish.
Yes, highly entertaining from start to finish. Yes, I agree. Very highly entertaining. Night 2. The Gauntlet. Didn't miss much.
This was for the never open weight 6-man tag team championships. Those LIJ with Evil, Shingo, and Sagagi and Bushi, they get it done, beating
Great Bash Heel and Taguchi.
Most Violent Players, Makabe and Yano, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Chaos. Tomohiro Ishii, and Robbie Eagles, a whole bunch of teams got involved in this whole situation.
Ball Club and Suzuki Gun.
They all got involved here, but LIJ gets it done and wins the titles.
I rated it 2.5 stars. I didn't care.
Yeah, he really didn't miss by too much here. It didn't seem like nothing was really missed here. Takahashi, Ryu Lee, beating, and now we get to, this is really that was the only pre-show match, but now we get to the last match of Jushin Thunder Liger's career. And we both knew, as we predicted this, that Takahashi, as long as he won the title, Takahashi would get the pin and pin Jushin. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. But Jushin, I think, looked better on night 2 than he did on night 1. And
Naoki Sano looked great, too.
Yeah, he did. He really, Sano, that was like the understory of all of this. That Sano looked really good. In the match itself, in the match as well, and I think he did a dive too. So
yeah, he did a dive.
That was awesome. So I thought that was cool. And then Hiromu hits the original time bomb to get the win and get the win for his team. But what I thought was really nice was Hiromu talking to Jushin after the match. And I thought this was a really cool thing of how you built the junior. He said you built the juniors division. And I promise I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take the torch from you, and I'm gonna take it to better heights. Which I thought was I love that. I thought that was really cool.
Liger's loss killed the stream. I was watching it.
Oh, sure did. Yeah, no, the crowd was dead after Liger got pinned.
No, Liger's loss killed the New Japan World stream after.
Oh wow.
The stream went dead. The English stream went absolutely dead after Hiromu pinned. It came back just in time for the Roppongi 3K match, but.
So you didn't get to see the promo live.
No,
I didn't watch it live. I did watch it. I was able to watch the whole thing back, and the promo that Jushin cut afterwards, and how the crowd, he basically got the crowd, he got the palm of his hands, and he said his thank yous and goodbyes. And he got to give them another match, which I thought was nice. And I think he displayed it all over Twitter and whatnot, which I thought was pretty cool. But thank you, Jushin Thunder Liger, incredible legend. All the classics that you put on so many different decades.
We'll talk about it when we get to the New Year Dash retirement ceremony.
Yes. But yeah, Roppongi 3K versus Bullet Club of El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori. I want to see more of El Phantasmo. This is the first I've ever really truly seen him. Dude is nice. I want to see more of El Phantasmo. There's no other way to say this. Dude is nice. I want to see more of this dude. Like there's a lot of, he's got a lot of tools in the bank here. I like this dude. I think he's gonna have a lot of classics in his future. I think.
3.5 for me.
This was a good match. This actually was a good match.
Zonka went 4 flat.
I go 3 3/4. I like the
Three
flow
and
of
a
this
half
match.
for Stu. Zack Sabre Jr. Sonata, I went 3 3/4.
Yeah, same rating. This is Sabre retains. It was a pretty solid match against Sonata.
Really
Nothing
good.
really blow away, but a good match, but a very good match.
Yeah, at 3 3/4. Zonka had it at 4. Grapple had it at 3.80. And the tag team title match at 3.40. Jon Moxley versus Juice Robinson. A bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by the outcome. The match itself I thought was alright, nothing special. But I was a little surprised that Moxley won. I was really expecting Juice to come up with 2 belts. Not after he won he was what happened to tag champions with Finlay, with Finn Juice. I was kind of expecting Juice to come out with the U.S. title too and kind of keep that title in New Japan, but he didn't. Moxley retains, and Moxley has a very big weekend over in Japan. Moxley gets it done. It surprised me
3
though.
stars for Neil David. I credited the wrong. Neil David wrote 92. It's a review of Voices of Wrestling. Zonka had it at 3.5. I had it at 2.75. Grapple had it at 3.29.
I probably go 3 1/4. I think it was a good match, not great. And the ending and the outcome was surprising to me. But I go 3 1/4.
Kenta Hiroki Goto.
Now, Kenta made it known after the match that he wasn't done, and we'll get to that later. Goto winning the title, I think it's perfectly fine, considering what happened later on in the evening. I thought it was perfectly fine that Goto wins the Never Openweight Championship. I thought it was perfectly fine. So I'm gonna go 3 1/2 here.
I went 3 3/4. Zonka went 4, and Neil David went 4 1/4. Jay White Kota Ibushi.
This was very good. I was a fan of this. I like the Goto involvement, the death stare that Ibushi kind of gave Goto. I was again all for the Kota's Ibushi expressions. I'm here for them. I'm all ears and all eyes for those. Jay White needed to win this match. I think he needed to win this match terribly. And the unfortunate part of the double goal
I couldn't get into this match.
I could get into the
heel stuff really got it for me. Killed it for me. It was 50% great, 50% bullshit. Zonka rated it 2 stars.
I think the first half of the match was kind of meh, and I get it because both guys wrestled for a half hour the previous night. But I think once they really got going, I think the match was turned up pretty good.
I still rated it 3.5. I didn't hate it.
I go solid for it.
Zonka hated it. He rated it at 2. Grapple had it at 3.72. And Neil David had it at 4.
Yeah, I'll go solid 4. I actually did. I love the latter half of the match.
Dad Jericho versus Hiroshi Tanahashi.
This was very good. This was very,
awesome.
Very good.
This was fucking awesome.
I was
2 veterans putting on a clinic.
Yeah, this was very good from start to finish. I really enjoyed this match. Highly entertaining. We got a whole lot of stuff from both guys. I really enjoyed the stuff that they put on here. Jericho making him tap out with the Walls of Jericho, aka the Lion Tamer. I love the code breaker that Tanahashi put on Jericho. I love how the High Fly Flow was countered. I love this was a very good match from start to finish. Jericho gets it done with the Walls of Jericho, aka Lion Tamer, and denies Tanahashi a shot at the AEW World Championship. Probably 4 1/4, 4.5 to me. I'm somewhere in that range.
For me.
Yeah, that's 4.
At 4. Neil David's at 3 3/4.
Yeah, so a 4 1/4 is fine. And I like the stuff afterward. What do you think about the promo the interview that Jericho did afterward? Or he's kind of hoping that AEW and New Japan can kind of merge and kind of have some crossbred stuff.
I'll believe it when I say
it. Understandable. I mean, I get it. There's some AEW stars, like obviously like Mox and Jericho, who have got contracts who got their deals that they can do whatever and go overseas and whatnot. But yeah, considering how in too deep they were with Ring of Honor, we'll see how they continue to do it. Obviously, I'm sure that's not really a thing. But yeah, I agree with you. I think I'd give it more time and let AEW kind of build this
did
up
come out with
individually.
the ROH television title.
Oh well, there you go. So yeah, I give it more time. I'll let AEW kind of continue to build themselves up and to alone, and then kind of build it up and see where they can go. And then we get to what I've already put on. I think is the match of the year candidate of Naito versus Okada. This match was a classic from the jump. This match was woo. This match was a classic from the jump. From the word go, this match was a classic.
This is fucking
so
great.
Good. Finally, the bridesmaid becomes the bride at the end, but this was the build up to it. Of could he actually hit the Destino, and then could he actually keep Okada down for 3 after the Destino?
He hit the Stardust pressed.
Yeah, he hit the Stardust pressed in the match. Okada with the count with the all the Rainmakers and as many tombstones, and I love the Destino counter to the tombstone. I thought that was dope too. I thought that was awesome. The Destino to the tombstone counter. I thought that was dope.
Okada was not pleased.
No, he was not. He was not. But Naito finally becomes the bride. As Naito finally, with the 2 signature wins of his career, I think, in the Dome, winning back-to-back nights.
2.999 counts in there.
Yeah, there were some real close. There were some real close ones. But Naito finally gets it done and finally gets the signature wins of his career, I think, winning both matches back-to-back in the Dome. And basically, Naito for those 2 nights went an hour and 10 minutes and change for these 2 nights, and came out with both titles. Yeah, the Intercontinental and the Heavyweight Championship.
And then the bastard came in.
Yes, I love this. I for all of this with Kenta. I love how Kenta basically stole the moment from Naito. He hit him with the go to sleep and wild out on him. I love this. I'm a fan of this. I love how the commentary stands on him.
Angle.
I love this. I hope and pray to the wrestling gods, wherever they may be, that if and when Kenta wins the titles, that Shibata's cleared and we can get Shibata versus Kenta. Even once would be fine for me. But seriously, this I love that Kenta did this. I love this. The crowd got instant heat the second he hit the ring and jumped him. Everybody was snapping at him, and instantly Kenta becomes one of the, if he's not the best heel in the company right now, I want to see who it is, because that was dope. The only other thing that could have made him even more of a heel is if he had jumped Jushin. But other than that, that would have been that was great. I love that.
Then we got the New Year Dash. Then we have the Liger retirement ceremony. Jushin Liger, one of the greats, all-time greats.
Yes, he is. No matter the weight class, no matter the company, so innovative with the stuff, the shooting star press, obviously, the swag that he comes in with. I would say, who do you think is he the best mask of all time?
Yes. Oh fuck yes.
I love the Flow Rey Mysterio's mask. Obviously,
no, it's Jushin fucking Liger.
But Jushin Liger's is with the horns on the sides. Yeah, there's so much originality to his masks, and the masks are one of a kind. But he does. I would say the greatest mask superstar of all time. I would say it's him, and then it's Ray. To me, are 1 and then 2. But yeah, I think Jushin is absolutely incredible. So. We salute the Jushin Thunder Liger from both of us at Get in the Ring. Salute the Jushin and your 31 years of incredible work inside the ring and all the stuff you even did outside of it. So salute
a couple of highlights from his retirement ceremony. They had a couple. They had a bunch of groups presented flowers. Hantai, the group from New Japan, Chaos, Harold May, Naoki Tsukubayashi, Liger's family. And then we got a video message from Antonio Inoki himself. Before Liger does a brief speech, he mentioned how important Tokyo Dome was in his whole career. And then thanks everyone once again. They got a 10-bell salute. Which was strange because I was like, they're really doing a 10-bell salute? And the dude's still alive.
Yeah, that's a bit...
But that was strange. But it's Japan, so...
They do some things differently, that's fair.
But they showed this incredible shot of Tanahashi in tears. And then the whole babyface side of the roster came in and hoisted the Liger in the air a couple times, and it was fun. The whole gymnasium sang Liger's theme song. It was great. Mm-hmm. Watch it.
I will go back and find it.
Yeah, it's New Year Dash. After everyone composed themselves after the
really?
New Japan Dojo versus LA Dojo. Carl Fredericks, Corey Connors, and Alex Corbin defeat Toa Hanori, Yotsuji, and Yuri Yamura. Yeah, pretty good match here. Afterwards, Alex Coughlin battled to the brawl to the back with Yota Tsuji. Then we had a non-title 4-way for the IW non-title 4-way match. Suzuki Gun, El Desperado, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru defeat the Roppongi 3K, Los Ingobernables, Hiromu Takahashi, and Bushi, and Bullet Club El Fantasma, and Taiji Ishimori. Pretty good here. The finish game between El Desperado and Sho. Bushi got involved, sprayed miss in El Desperado's face. Suzuki Gun won, basically, so. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kota Ibushi, and Finjuice defeat Bullet Club, and this was to set up the Ibushi Tanahashi versus Finjuice match. That's gonna happen. And LIJ, Evil, and Shingo defeat Never Openweight Champion Hiroki Goto and Tomohiro Ishii. Very good match here. Afterwards, Shingo takes the match, remind Goto they're 1-1 in singles bouts, and then demanded a rubber match for the Never Openweight Championship. Then we had Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, Robbie Eagles, and Yoshihashi defeat Suzuki Gun and Minoru Suzuki, Repro Undisputed British Heavyweight Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., Lance Archer, and Tai Chi, and you'll like a match on the New Beginning tour. After the match, Taichi said Okada for one last ride, and then Jon Moxley music hit, and the IWGP United States Championship champion came out. Minoru Suzuki didn't back out. They had a brief exchange. Laid out Suzuki with the Death Rider. Moxley Suzuki.
We totally overdid that. Yeah, right. We didn't even.
Right. After the Moxley Juice match.
Yeah, we did. We completely glossed over that. As Minoru came out, and he wanted the battle with Moxley.
Right then and there.
He was ready to get this war. Yeah, he really was ready to get this war on at that point in time.
That would have been a moment of time still.
The crowd went nuts for that too. The crowd was all for it. It was all for that battle going down.
And then Los Ingobernables de Japón, Tetsuya Naito and Sanada defeat Bullet Club, Jay White, and Kenta with Gato. It wasn't a bad match, but it was set up the post-match angle. LIJ didn't have some time to celebrate because Kenta and Jay White quickly jumped them. Kenta and White took turn. Kenta is coming after Naito, and White's coming after Sonata. So we have the Fantastica Mania tour coming up with a bunch of the CMLL guys. Some of the major matches from that one include Teton and Forastero on January 17th, January 19th. We have a big card with Stuka Jr. versus Okamura. Dulce Gardenia, Fuego, and Ryusuke Taguchi versus Evil, Shingo, and Bushi of Los Ingobernables de Japón. Ultimo Guerrero versus Satoshi Kojima for the CMLL World Heavyweight Championship. And Karistico, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Tiger Mask versus Negro Casas. Eurofia and Barbara Carbonaro. And on January 20th, we have Fuego. We have Karistico versus Barbara Carbonaro for the NWA World Historic Middleweight Championship. They're also coming to the United States. On January 24th, they're coming to the Social Suplex's stomping grounds in St. Petersburg, Florida. Tampa, Florida. For a card, January 24th. Clark Connors versus Mysterioso, a CMLL wrestler. Then we had Yuji Nagata and Satoshi Kojima versus Alex Hoffman and Ren Narita. Carl Fredericks and TJP versus Colt Cabana and Toriano. Jeff Cobb versus Alex Zane. Yoshihashi versus Jeff Cobb. And Rocky Romero versus Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, David Finlay, and Juice Robinson versus Jado, Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, Tanga Loa, and Tama Tonga. January 26th in Nashville, Tennessee. The main event is Rocky Romero, Kota Ibushi, David Finlay, Juice Robinson versus Jado, Chase Owens, Tama Tonga, and Tanga Loa. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Yujiro Takahashi. Yuji Nagata versus Lance Archer, Satoshi Kojima versus Jeff Cobb, and a bunch of other matches. Durham, North Carolina on the 27th, you have Yoshihashi, Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, David Finlay, Juice Robinson versus Jado, Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, Tama Tonga, Tanga Loa. Ren Narita versus Lance Archer, Jeff Cobb versus Carl Fredericks, Alex Zane, Robert Gibson, and Ricky Morton versus Rocky Romero, Toriano, and Colt Cabana. Pembroke Pines, Florida on January 30th. You have Kota Ibushi and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Gorillas of Destiny. Rocky Romero and David Finlay and Juice Robinson versus Jado, Chase Owens, and Yujiro Takahashi. Alex Zane versus Lance Archer, Jeff Cobb versus Ren Narita, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson versus Colt Cabana and Toriano. And then the Atlanta show has David Finlay and Juice Robinson versus Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa. Kota Ibushi versus Chase Owens, Jeff Cobb versus Lance Archer, Robert Gibson, Ricky Morton, The Rock and Roll Express, and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Clark Connors, Alex Zane, and TJP. Colt Cabana and Toriano versus Jado and Yujiro Takahashi, and two other matches. The New Beginning in Sapporo on February 1st has Never Openweight Champion Hiroki Goto versus Shingo. Then we have Tomohiro Ishii versus Evil, and then this tag match of Kazuchika Okada and Jon Moxley.
That should be interesting.
Versus Taichi and Minoru Suzuki, and Tetsuya Naito and Sonata versus Kenta and Jay White.
So we do get to see Suzuki and Moxley lock up at a point in this tag match. I like that.
New Beginning in Sapporo Night 2, you'll like this a lot. Kazuchika Okada versus Taichi is the headlining match, but the second match from the top is for the British Heavyweight Championship as Zack Sabre Jr. defends against William Ospreay.
Okay, we get to see the incredible match, one of my favorite matches of the decade, and my favorite match of 2016 was Ospreay v. Sabre battling each other on WrestleMania weekend. It was the weekend of Zayn and Shinsuke, but these two absolutely stole the show for me. And yes, anytime they lock up, I look forward to seeing that.
Double championship match in Osaka, February 9th. Tetsuya Naito defending against Kenta. Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki. Hiromu versus Ryu Lee. Sonata versus Jay White. And Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay versus Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay, so the Naito and Kenta, is it for both titles?
Both titles.
Okay, you got to put them both up. Okay. Wow, so it could be all or nothing night for Kenta and bring the titles back to Bullet Club. That could be a huge deal.
Yup. Divisional round, NFL.
Let's go back let's get the wild cards out the way first. So to me, I think the Bills lost that game more so than the Texans wanted.
Yeah, they did.
The inaccuracies of Josh Allen really came out on full display. You kind of saw what he can be when he's running the ball in the first half, and then what he has to be and get better at when it comes to throwing the ball in the second half. Did the Bills get screwed at times? Yeah, I think the whole thing with the touchback at the start of the half, I think, was semi-mismanaged. The referee explicitly warned the Texans player that he's going to don't hand me the ball. And it wasn't even that. Like that blindside block that they called, that was not a blindside block. That looked like a clean block to me. I thought that was clean. I thought that was poorly handled by the officials. And it was even by the rule book that should have been a touchdown for the Bills to start the second half. And they messed that up. I think it was Houston. The high-end talent got it done. Even with the Hopkins fumble, the high-end talent got it done at the end. But I think it was found out that once Josh Allen had to actually throw the ball, Buffalo was doomed. So Houston escaped. Honestly,
can we not talk about the Eagles? Can we not? Can we not?
I'll mention it briefly. DK Metcalf was a beast. Howie, you messed up by not drafting him. Seattle gets it done on the road again. They're 8-1 this year on the road.
Yeah, we had a chance to draft DK Metcalf. That was a horrible life choice.
Yes, it was. Let's see here. New Orleans, it was kind of hilarious that they got...
So that was a cheap shot.
Yes, it was. It absolutely was, yeah. And the fact that the NFL might not even fine Clowney for it...
What? What?
Oh, you didn't hear about this?
I did
not! They're mulling it over, and they haven't done anything to Clowney yet.
Fuck them. Fuck the NFL. Fuck the NFL.
There are people boycotting NBC because of the way that NBC handled it horribly, by the way. That it took 15 minutes for them to actually acknowledge that Wentz was even hurt, and then Michelle Tavoya not doing anything, not talking about the incident with Clowney, and how she basically was kind of like think of him as a hero because he played through the injury that he had, as opposed to mentioning the injury that he caused, which I think was horribly done. NBC did a bad job when it came to handling an injury, I will say. So Clowney might not even be fined. We'll see if he actually does, but they'd probably find him by now. I'm not sure he's going to get fined. They don't think he did anything wrong, which is really sad because he obviously did. Okay, getting back to it, the fact that New Orleans is out because of the rule that they basically caused, it wasn't even enforced. It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
I think karma was there a little bit of a push off? Yeah. It wasn't going to be overturned. That should not have been I think ultimately a call of not calling it pass interference, I think would have been the right decision. I don't think it was pass interference by Kyle Rudolph. Not enough. It was some hand fighting on both parties, which I think is fine, but it was not enough to cause a pass interference. So I think the referees did the right thing, ultimately. But I saved the best for last. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to say goodbye to the New England Patriots. They were met with the cruel daggers from last week, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then this week, Derrick Henry, as the Ryans, Fitzpatrick and Tannehill played the roles of the judges. The juries were Brian Flores and Mike Vrabel, and Vrabel, by the way, with the Belichick-Keenan move, with the back-to-back penalties, I thought was awesome. Love that.
We were on the phone during that, and we were like, Vrabel's out Belichicking Belichick right now.
And it was genius that he did it. He did it to his face in his house and pissed off Belichick horribly. And of course, the executioners being Derrick Henry and Devontae Parker, as both guys completely destroyed what was thought to be an excellent defense in the Patriots, as Parker and Henry made them look childish in back-to-back weeks. And then the piece de resistance being the pick six that Brady threw, the back-to-back weeks of Brady throwing pick sixes to former teammates. And then
Skip trying to excuse Tom Brady's performance.
Brady was not good. When he had to make a throw, he almost couldn't. He made one or two good throws in the game, but he really just couldn't make any throws. I think I'm telling you, I think it's over. I think it's finally done. I think the dynasty is really dead. I can't think of them. Are they a playoff team with Brady? Yeah, but I don't think of them as a favorite anymore. No. I don't think of them as a Super Bowl favorite. I don't think of them as like the invincible New England Patriots. And a Dolphins team that got beat by them 43-0 in September with the Foxborough and beat them. That ought to tell you a whole lot. And a Dolphins team with nowhere near as much talent as they had this time last year with the Foxborough and beat them in a game that New England had to have, in a game that Miami really didn't have to have. I think this dynasty's done. Now, are they the favorites to win the East if Brady's back? Probably, because we don't know how well Miami can build up in 9 months' time, and we don't know. I don't think the Jets are ready, and the Bills are only going to be ready if Josh Allen actually gets good at throwing the football. So they probably win the East, but it's not a guarantee. It's not guaranteed to me that New England can win the East and winning yet again for the 12th straight year. That's not a guarantee to me. I think they're as a favorite. I think they're done. So the 4 games this weekend, divisional round. Now we can jump forward here. First, I'll get to the NFC first. We got the Vikings and the 49ers, which I think is good. That's a pretty good game right there. The Vikings try to go to San Francisco and beat the Niners. I think the Niners are just too good. I like the Niners defense. I like the Niners defense. I like the way that they're playing right now. Minnesota did not get lucky.
All fresh teams. This
feels
fresh.
Well, there are only 2 Super Bowl winners left, and it's Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, and one of them's going to be going home after this weekend. So that's think about that. You're going to have an all-new AFC champion, whether it be Pat Mahomes, Ryan Tannehill, Lamar Jackson, or
imagine if Ryan Tannehill wins the Super Bowl
in Miami, no less. The game's in Miami. That would be something. That'd be a whole lot of something there. So I do think that San Francisco will get it done. I like the Niners at home here. Jimmy G's are playing pretty well. I like the way the Niners
Seattle and San Francisco are going to rematch.
I do too. I think the Green Bay looks suspect to me.
Yeah, Green Bay.
You're 13-3, but you do not look like a 13-3 team. No. You look real suspect. The way the Packers have played some teams, there have been a couple games where they absolutely should have lost, and they just don't look right. The Lions had them dead to rights until the Lions realized, oh wait, we can lose draft capital, so they chalked it and stuff like that. But they do not, honestly, they don't look like a 13-3 team. You simply don't look like a 13-3 team. I think Seattle goes to Lambeau and beats them. They've been an excellent road team all year long. They're 8-1 on the road now. They've obviously beaten Philly twice. They beat San Francisco on the road. Seattle can win on the road. I got the Seahawks and on the road there too.
And that 5 line is just asinine.
It is, yeah. It definitely is.
Titans, Ravens.
Now, here's something I've learned watching Ryan Tannehill over the years. Tannehill against Baltimore is not a good thing for Tannehill. He has never done well against the Ravens. It hasn't mattered like what kind of team he's got with him or anything else. He has not done well against the Ravens. Now, to be fair to him and to Tennessee, the Titans do have a very good offensive line, and Derrick Henry's basically been a sledgehammer, or as I called him last week, a steel guitar. Obviously, the whole Nashville thing has been a kind of a steel guitar for Tennessee. The way Baltimore's rolling right now, they've won 12 straight. Lamar Jackson's an MVP this year. Ravens, but it's a close game.
Ravens, close, yeah. And then Texans, Chiefs. I go Chiefs.
Now Houston did beat them this year in Kansas City.
Right.
I don't believe I think this is why Pat Mahomes was injured. So I'm gonna try to confirm it, but I do believe Pat Mahomes did not play in that game. Yeah. And Houston, as I said earlier in this segment, Houston I think escaped that game against Buffalo, where basically Buffalo lost it more so than Houston won it. And yes, Houston got a little bit lucky with a couple of questionable officiating decisions. But I do believe that Pat Mahomes did not play in their first game at Arrowhead. And
Pat
Kansas City
Mahomes did play.
He did play, okay. Oh, well, all right, Houston beat him straight up. Even with all of that, I'm still going to take Kansas City. Yes, Houston can play them tough. I think Houston will give them a run for their money in Arrowhead. Kansas City's a 10-point favorite. I think that's a bit high, personally. But I think Houston will keep it within 10, but Houston will still lose.
Yeah.
So that's my NFC and AFC Championship predictions. Are going to be 3 of them from either West Division and the last one coming from Baltimore. So I think it's going to be Mahomes versus Watts, Mahomes versus Jackson, and then Russell versus Jimmy G, Niners and Seahawks round 3 for the NFC title.
Which is going to be bonkers. Twitter.com/DJDCooks. You dropped.
Looks like you said you had the same thing.
Yes. Twitter.com/DJDCooks. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Twitter.com.
Twitter.com/BeastMike is where you can find me. I've obviously been.
Yeah, DJDCooks is where you can find me.
Twitter.com/BeastMike is where you can find me. And then, yep, there's DJDCooks there. Yep, you can find me on Twitter.com/BeastMike. I will obviously be tweeting about the respective games when they take place on Saturday and Sunday. And obviously we'll be monitoring the Twitter sphere for various other things that may go down as we go.
Any NyQuil moments?
I don't think we really didn't have any big time NyQuil moments over the last week.
McGregor-Cerrone's coming up this weekend.
I just said the NyQuil moment of the year. What's that?
McGregor-Cerrone's coming up this weekend.
Yes it is.
McGregor's winning the fight.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, in theory, he should. He should.
I like Cowboy. Don't get me wrong, but I think McGregor should win this fight.
As apparently, I'm getting love from the DC Defenders fan club on Twitter right now. So obviously the XFL coming up next month, and I was kind of looking at some of the XFL rules that are happening with the kickoff returns and the actual.
You mean the ones that they're making up as they go along?
Kind of, sort of, yes. They're kind of making them up on the fly. Some of them are okay, and some of them I like how they handle the PATs. Where like you can do it in 3 different intervals, so I think that's creative. I think that's different. I like that. And then you got the so they got the college rules for catches, shorter half times, and then you got the fewer timeout things. And then like I responded to the XFL rules, like as a whole I like them. I don't like the overtime thing as much, but I'd rather it be like overtime starting from midfield or something. But maybe this is the defensive guy in me. And I replied to them like as a whole I like them. Now to pick a team. So the DC Defenders responded to me and said, like, okay, they're built for these rules. Multiple sub 440 guys, 4.4 guys, wide receiver and running back with 2 very talented QBs, and a 6'7" Tyree Jackson, and I think this team's going to be fast and fun. So I replied to them, all right, interesting. You're a fairly local team, because obviously you got New York and DC, so you're fairly local. And then they responded to me, trying to entice you with Penn State guys on the team. But also, you'll like that we have Penn State football alumni on the roster. John Thomas, DeAndre Tompkins. Let's see, we got, DeAndre Tompkins and Cole Farmer on the team. And then they probably say, we are your team. Clever. I like the aggressive pursuit the DC Defenders are coming at me with here. I respect it. Yeah. I respect the DC Defenders. You might actually be my team for the XFL. Coming up on February 8th, by the way.
The week after Super Bowl.
Yep.
We'll see how those attendance numbers will go.
I just hope the league is good. I just hope the league is going to be good.
Better than the AAF.
Yes.
Oof.
And what even there really was only 3 teams in the AAF that actually do anything. Legitimately, there were only 3 good AAF teams. The rest of you were complete trash. It was I think it was Birmingham, San Antonio, and I think what was the other one? Arizona or something?
Arizona, the one that Greg Ward was on.
Arizona. Yeah, it was Arizona, Birmingham, and San Antonio. They were the only 3 that could actually do anything. Every other AAF team was trash.
Which one was Greg Ward on?
I thought it was Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Arizona.
Because Greg Ward was on an AAF team.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was nice. Yeah, he was nice.
I can't believe we're talking about the Alliance of American Football.
not the defunct, the AAF. Yeah, not the defunct alliance.
Now defunct Alliance of American Football. Started because of the ESPN 30 for 30 on the XFL.
Yep.
My God. And the XFL's starting up again. The XFL. And it's on Fox.
Yeah, Fox definitely did get the rights to it.
So.
It doesn't surprise me considering SmackDown is on considering SmackDown being on Fox now. Yeah, that doesn't shock me as much.
Yeah. Well, I'm tired.
Yeah, I think we could call it a night. D Cook's taking home.
For Beast Mike, this is DJ D Cooks. So long, suckers.